Good day, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Major Saturday, in which we are discussing the latest technical analysis of major cryptocurrencies. If you like my content, and my name is Crypto Michael, please subscribe to the channel or like beneath the video, which is helping me a lot, and we are growing relatively fast recently, which is awesome. Cool stuff coming up, so yeah, I'm really glad with whatever is happening. Also, check out my Instagram page. We're going to show more content over there as well. Also surrounding my lifestyle and just tips and tricks for how to become a better trader and investor. Then, today we're going to discuss 4 majors, and we can discuss them through TA, in which every major has a different perspective right now. First one is Ether, as you can see. Then we're going to discuss some Tezos, and finally we're adding up with some EOS and some Ripple. First, we have been discussing Ethereum a lot yesterday, so if you did miss the video from yesterday, please check it out. It's probably good content for you to define levels where you should be getting interested in Ethereum, as right now we are facing a higher time frame resistance zone, which you can see on the chart. I've already put in these 2 red horizontal lines, which essentially reflects that we've got a resistance zone between 440 and 470. What is the standard rule? If you want to buy something for a trade, so you want to go long, you don't want to buy that into a resistance until it is flipped as support and the level is gained. So right now it's not an entry zone for Ethereum to make a trade on a long. If you are investing and you are DCAing, I think you should be best off by just putting in some money every week, regardless of what the price is right now, as the future perspective for the coming years is so much higher than the price is right now. And I think the old 2017 bubble will just be a very small bump on the right, just like Chainlink has shown. So we've got this weekly resistance zone here. We also got above the 100 week and 200 week MA, and we are above the 100 day and 200 day MA, which essentially is bullish signals on the markets through which we can define that we are buying the dips. Then if we zoom in a little bit more, we can see the daily time frame in which we are seeing that we are above these 100 day and 200 day MA, but we are also above the previous consolidation period, and we got into the next resistance zone. And based on the daily time frame, we have discussed that we were first facing a resistance zone which we couldn't break through, which essentially led to some sideways consolidation before we broke up towards 440. So Ethereum right now into resistance zone, very nice move. I'm getting a little bit skeptical on the move itself, given that we are expanding to the upside quite hard already. Crucial part for Ethereum, if it wants to continue breaking above 440, is that we hold this previous high. So if we zoom in a little bit more, the essential level that it should be holding in case we want to continue is essentially the green zone around 389. If we lose this green zone around 389, we have discussed this in the previous video, then this part is deviation, and it seems very likely that this is the range, that we get such a deviation as well on the bottom, and then you should be defining $300 as a potential long entry. So I'm getting a little bit skeptical. Not too many confirmations that we are actually turning around. We just had a nice breakout, and we came all the way back down towards the level that should be holding before we get towards this zone. So if you want to scalp trade, then this is the area around 425 that you want to take an entry. Further potential bearish divergence, which can only be confirmed if we lose the previous high, which essentially is not the case right now. But I think we are most likely going to get some consolidation, and we just see a slight fake out breakout to the upside, which I think is more likely right now. Ethereum BTC is also showing that we are inside such a resistance zone and potential bearish divergence. The resistance zone is defined from the levels we can see here, which essentially is a weekly level, and we've got some horizontal levels here, which is also support previously. So we are essentially back into the range we used to be in 2019 through which the range high is the red area we can have pointed out here, and through which the range low is the area around 0.0266. Are we going to get there? Seems very unlikely given the momentum in the markets. I think a retrace towards the 0.29 level is still very likely to expect, and that we're just going to consolidate here. Once we break out of this range, essentially we have been ranging for 1 year in the lows. We reclaimed this level for support, and now we're back in the range we have been in at the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. If we get another range construction and we hold the 100-day and 200-day MA, and then essentially in a later phase we break out of this range, I think the overall rally then is going to be a heavy impulse wave, which most likely brings Ethereum to $800 and towards the area here. Then there's also some coins that did not move at all yet, which is essentially EOS, and we have been tweeting about it a little bit, and it is finally waking up. We do see that we are breaking the 100-day MA, we held support, which was essential, and now we are going to look whether we can find support on this range low again. So what we now want to see is that we get a nice rally up. Short term we might be in a short term resistance zone, but this is the most likely resistance zone, which is going to be 3200 sets. So we get a construction like this, just like Ripple is showing. This retest or higher low after this higher high is the confirmation that we're going to look for a new higher high here, and then you want to get it ready towards 38 to 100 or 4100 sets, which is a case that we're also breaking above the 100-day and 200-day MA on EOS, and that's guaranteeing that we are in such a bull territory that we are just very likely going to buy every support resistance flip and every buy the dip opportunity. So as you see, Ethereum was one of the first movers. Chainlink and Tezos are doing really well, and now the other old majors are starting to heat up a little bit, in which Stellar and Ripple have been showing some perspectives of it, and EOS is also starting to follow through, as you can see. If we check the USDT chart from EOS, we can see that we've got a construction like we see on Ethereum. So if we go back in history on Ethereum, we can see that we had a similar construction, right? So just flipping levels, compressing, being very, very boring in general. What do we see as potential resistance levels for EOS right now is that we've got one which it is facing quite soon, which is around $370. That's a resistance zone for EOS. If it breaks through that level, I think there will be an expansion towards 525 in one go, or maybe even towards the level at 590. These are the two levels that I'm watching. Essentially, we've broken the 100-day and 200-day MA. We've got a nice support level here. We tested the previous resistance for support and got confirmation, made a new higher high, and now we are flipping this previous resistance zone for support as just discussed, and I'm making a new higher high, through which it seems likely that we're going to consolidate for a little while, just like we showed on the EOS BTC chart, before we expand heavily towards the next range high resistance zones, and then we are in a buy the dip opportunity and in a very good market sentiment on EOS itself as well. Then we can also see some charts like Ripple, which essentially is I've got to have the other one, which essentially is showing what EOS most likely will be doing as it follows through, is a break back up into the range high, ready towards the resistance zone, got support at the first level, which is essentially the range low, or the range low of the previous year. We got confirmation there. It's the first potential level of interest, which I've already been stating since the range high. Now it seems likely that we're going to get a new compression period, in which we are just going to make sideways price action, and then once we break out of that compression, it seems very likely that we're going to see a heavy impulse wave as we are above the 100-day and 200-day MA for the first time. So can Ripple become $1 at some point? Yes, it can. I have to get some other charts, I guess, which is not showing everything. What we see on Ripple is that essentially, since this whole peak here, we are finally really getting above the 100 day and 200 day MA. We are not yet making a new higher high, but we are making that on a smaller time frame. So we see higher low construction here, we see support resistance flip here, and now you really want to see that as well with the levels we have pointed out here, which the first level is 28 cents, we held. The other level you want to do that is 24 cents. So you want to see some compression here, sideways movements, and then you're going to break through this high and make a new higher high, which essentially should lead towards 40 cents or even 50 cents, and then you can start defining the levels from the expansion we had here, in which already towards even 61 cents, or in this case the block around 68 cents, is very likely to occur. How can you also define targets? Well, essentially you can do that by using the Fibonacci extension tool, in which you indeed got confluence with the 41 cents level first and then a 55 cents level. So I think Ripple is very nice, but everything that moves fast consolidates before it goes again and tests previous levels, and these tests you want to get if you want to take an entry and you were not in yet. You don't buy in a FOMO move. And one of them FOMO moves is Tezos, as it usually follows Chainlink, and right now it's also showing strength. I've been pointing out these levels as they were marked as potential support levels. I've been pointing these out on Twitter, and they have claimed support, so I traded a little bit on it. First rally up, in which the structure here is acting as resistance, in which it seems likely that we're going to get a new higher low construction, and then as you can see, we are making higher lows, higher highs. The next move should be a new higher high. So then we are going to define the targets we have made in the article on Cointelegraph earlier this week. And then we get towards the levels of $4.80 to $5 as the new higher high and potential target for Tezos. So that's my update for the majors for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Check me on Instagram and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching.